They stole everything that they demonized and they rebranded it as Christian. This empire burned people alive for the same practices that they celebrate every holiday season. Let's talk about this. The ones who called us savages and pagans are the biggest pagans in the room, just in cosplay. Now, before Christianity dominated Europe, the continent was pretty much a patchwork of indigenous spiritual systems, Celtic solstice rituals, Germanic Yule festivals, Norse ancestor rites, Slavic fertility celebrations, and Greco Roman seasonal observances. These traditions honored the cycle of nature, cycle of fire, astrology, harvest, birth, death, and the turning of the sun. Christianity didn't replace these rituals, they just absorbed them. The church banned the rituals, executed the practitioners, and then quietly rebranded these rituals as Christian holidays. Christmas equals the solstice plus Yule plus sun worship and a marketing strategy. Everything that Europeans across this planet call Christmas existed thousands of years before Christianity. Evergreen trees, that was a pagan fertility symbol. Gift giving, that's Roman. December 25th, that's Sol Invictus. And then we have Yule logs, which was used in Norse midwinter ceremonies. Mistletoe, that's a druidic healing magic. And then carols, that's as pagan as it gets. Those are pagan wassailing chants. Christians didn't invent Christmas, they colonized the month of December. But yet they call you the pagan. They call us the savages, the heathens. And then we have Easter, which is older than Christianity itself by thousands of years. The name Easter alone derives from Iestra, a pre Christian Germanic goddess of dawn and the spring, and renewal. Even their resurrection theme is hijacked and stolen and tied to ancient agricultural cycles of death and rebirth. Europeans erased their own goddesses and demonized feminine fertility traditions amongst their own. And then they resurrected the same symbols every spring. And then you have the Eurocentric term labeled witchcraft, which again is a Eurocentric term. There was no such thing until the Europeans put a label on it. However, this set of practices was the original indigenous religion of Europeans. The very things that they demonized and burned women, such as herbal medicine, midwifery, moon cycles, divination, ancestor reverence, those were actually indigenous practices to Europeans prior to their own colonization, of colonizing themselves. The women who carried this knowledge, though, they were tortured, hanged, burned, drowned, just like they did with the cats. And then the church had the nerve to turn around and incorporate things like holy water, which is a ritual purification, incense smoke, which is a smoke cleansing ritual, candles and altars, everything they demonized, they now use every single Sunday. And it didn't stop there. They took these same concepts, accusations, and labels and exported it throughout the globe. They followed the same formula: destroy indigenous spirituality, demonize everything as witchcraft or devil worship, outlaw it, criminalize it, steal the symbolism and repurpose it, and call their version of these stolen cosmologies as civilized, the only truth. They called our ancestors, your ancestors, savages, barbaric, and heathens, while savaging rituals and practices lifted from their own dismantled cosmologies, from their own dismantled pagan past. They colonized their own memories. They're all pagans with better PR. The people that they demonize and hunted, the herbalists, the midwives, the astrologers, the sun watchers, and any land based people, were accused of practicing all the things that they just kept for themselves. They stole everything that they demonized, but label you the savage, the pagan, the heathen, and the witch. Cope.